verdict. It killed a man. For a moment, KAAN saw something new in the creature's 2.5 million years ago. A world where every city was a mermaid. This was the tribe of KAAN. They did not dream of the future. They only knew Every morning KAAN led the hunters out, not because he was the strongest, because he was the one who always came back. Ara stayed behind. She was days away from giving new life to the tribe. They did not cheer, they did not shout, but in KAAN's eyes, there was something that looked almost like pride. They were returning home. Bellies would be full tonight, the young would sleep well. This was a good day. Just 15 souls, together, fed, alive. For KAAN, this was the whole world. The children did not know fear yet. To them, every rock was a mountain, every lizard was a dragon, the world was still just play.
And for 3 days now, the land had been telling him something was wrong.
The nearby lands had been picked clean. KAAN pointed toward the far valley. They all shook his heads walk, but hunger spoke louder. They walked further, desoler. The bronze grew taller, the treelands. Dozens of them. The whole of the valley looked soon like a stone. Not for food. KAAN had faced lions. He ran. But for the first time in his history, KAAN had no more words. He observed. The tribe understood all three. Something was out there. That dusk, no one spread out. No one wandered. 15 behaviorists together in the 3 days. Now everyone listened. But listening was already too late for someone. Ara was hungry. The kind of hungry that made the unborn kick. The creature had moved through this valley like a verdict. It killed because it could. There, the shelter ended while now he's sleeping in shelter. Key was the only time anything could be beaten. The tracks ended it for a long time. And shelter meant the creature might be sleeping. Prey his entire life. Now he was stalking something that had never been stalked.
The deer was twice the size of any man. The creature older and more absolute.
One moment, one dry branch, that was all it took to change everything. It was there, in the dark, still as stone. For a moment KAAN thought it was dead.
It did not have eyes. That I was sure she had been. Wow.
He showed them with his hands. The cave, the creature inside. One way in, one way out. She screamed the only thing that mattered. A warning. She was fast, even pregnant, but it was faster. She could hear it behind her, not footsteps, just a sound like the air itself being cut. They had one technology, stone. Shaped by hand, sharpened by will. 5 hunters, and space. When he opened his eyes, he was ready. They waited. The sensed Gans Habdablu. One was, and signed our last thought. KAAN. The screen never ours before. This he had never been named. He did not think. He had 2 Nilbers followed. His could never land unless it mattered.
She was gone. And whatever she had been carrying was gone.
A hunter reads the ground. The Zoe was heavy, fast, and it had walked in a perfectly straight line.
In now one direction. Follow the tracks. Find it. End it.
Then when it was over, KAAN, the hunters, and the hunters followed. He showed them the tracks in the dust. He pulled up there one of them and killed. Not just did it to a guy. They followed the tracks the way a river follows gravity. No choice, no hesitation. The rocks had been burned, not by fire, by something that dripped from nature itself. Hot.
There. The Tron studied it for a long time that the right be seen could be me. It was there. So,
he showed them with his hands. The cave, the creature inside, one way in, one way then, they were by. They had one technology, stone. Shaped by hand, sharpened by will. They had no iron, no rope, no fire. They had the same thing their kind had always had. 5 hunters. And he saw Ara's face. When he saw Ara's face, he was ready.
Then, a sound. The Honda looked rang. The Huntum Hunting cross.
It walked into the light like it knows how much fee phones so video you orchestrated.
KAAN raised his fist, then dropped it, and the rocks began to fly. The rocks hit it like a storm. It spun. KAAN ran straight at it.
4.5 feet tall, 200 pounds of muscle and ancient bone.
The ground came up 5% and spun what had happened.
For a moment, nothing. Drew was KAAN watched it happen, and instead of making him afraid,
They had a saying. If one way forward, there is always another way.
it hunted them between the rocks. Methodical, patient. They had learned. The pit was barely 2 feet deep, but deep enough, and a stumble was all they needed. They threw everything they had.
After this journey, he'll stop.
Its blood burned the rock.
And pull what to see what is that.
Even its death was a weapon.
Grief.
Grief later. First, finish this.
KAAN had no armor, no shield left.
Because he didn't. It was wounded. They could see that now. For one moment, it felt let go. It not let them. They had no rope made from fiber.
Wild some more spiritually on them say, last breathe up.
4.
This more of the wildest fuel in existence.
They had come into the world with nothing. No fangs, no claws, no shun.
Did not know that the Nafo was in point of from. He did not know this tried no more.
It was down. They're down. He had never felt anything like this before. They bound it with everything they had, vine over vine.
Walk down. More vines on the arms.
The tribe had waited in silence all day, not knowing who would come back. It weighed more than all 4 of them together. They dragged it,
But they hammered enough.
and it was bound. It was theirs, here, in Badanching. Gathered the driest wood, what he could find, because needed to bow to do. His father had taught him fire. His father's strike of the stones was 2 million years of knowledge in his hands. The spark caught. The fire found it fast. KAAN saw something new in the creature's movements. It fought the fire the same way it had fought them.
He denied.
The smoke went in Jolie. His fighting, there was some mood. It was over.
That was how you knew. When the birds came back his whole life, the birds were back.